Nuora's gut ritual makes a very unusual claim that harmful gut biofilm or protein layers build up along the intestinal wall, and that breaking it down is the secret to reducing bloating, improving nutrient absorption, and restoring gut health. The problem is that this isn't actually how the gut works. Your intestines are not like dirty plumbing that slowly fills with grime and needs to be scrubbed clean. The gut lining is a living, highly active system made up of mucus, intestinal cells, immune components, and trillions of bacteria. This mucus layer is not waste material. It's a normal and essential part of human biology. It's constantly being produced, broken down, and renewed as part of everyday digestive function. Nuora's comparison to teeth is especially misleading because your teeth and gut exist in completely different environments. Dental plaque forms on enamel, which is a hard, non-living surface that does not regenerate. Because teeth do not constantly renew themselves, bacteria can build up into a layer that needs to be physically removed through brushing and flossing. The gut is the exact opposite. The intestinal lining is constantly renewing itself, secreting mucus, releasing digestive enzyme, and maintaining a mucosal layer as part of normal healthy function. You can think of the gut as a rainforest ecosystem. The layer lining your intestines is not just dirt sitting on top of the organ. It is a part of the organ itself, much like soil, moss, fungi, and plant life are part of a rainforest. Saying the gut would function better if you stripped away its biofilm is a bit like saying a rainforest would thrive better if you pressure washed away all the soil and microorganisms covering the forest floor. It wouldn't improve the ecosystem, it would damage it. By the way, I review a lot of supplements here, so subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated, and support me on Ko-fi if you enjoy the content. Now, it is true that biofilm-like bacterial structures can sometimes appear in the gut during certain diseases. Researchers have observed these kinds of bacterial communities in conditions such as inflammatory bowel disease, colorectal cancer, and possibly small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. In these specific situations, the biofilm-like structures appear alongside serious underlying problems such as inflammation, infection, tissue damage, tumors, or major disruptions in gut function. More importantly, the biofilms are generally considered a consequence of the disease process, not the root cause of it. In other words, the disease creates the abnormal bacterial environment. The biofilm does not suddenly create the disease out of nowhere. Treating the biofilm itself in these cases would likely do very little unless the actual gastrointestinal condition was addressed. Nuora's marketing does not make these distinctions. Instead, it promotes a simple dirty gut narrative because it sounds intuitive and is easy to understand. But this isn't how it works. Healthy intestines do not accumulate large amounts of trapped waste or toxic buildup that needs to be scrubbed away. The closest real-world comparison would simply be constipation, where stool is not moving properly through the colon. In those cases, the solution is improving bowel function or using laxatives, not trying to dissolve some mysterious coating lining the intestines. Which then raises the obvious question, what do the ingredients in Nuora's Gut Biofilm Ritual actually do? Bromelain is a general term for a group of enzymes found in pineapple stems and fruit. These enzymes help break down protein, which is why bromelain is sometimes included in digestive enzyme supplements. But despite being marketed as a digestive enzyme, there is very little good evidence showing that bromelain actually improves real digestive problems or gut health in any meaningful way. Most of the research on bromelain has focused on something entirely different: wound and burn care. In those settings, bromelain may help remove damaged or dead tissue from the surface of wounds, but the surface of the skin is very different from the lining in the gut. There's no evidence that bromelain removes so-called gut biofilm, repairs any digestive disorders, or improves gut lining health or absorption in any meaningful way. Berberine is a yellow, bitter-tasting compound found naturally in several different medicinal plants. In people with type 2 diabetes, berberine can help improve glucose regulation and insulin sensitivity. But when it comes to digestive health, the evidence is much weaker and far more limited. For example, research suggests it might help as part of a treatment for Helicobacter pylori infection, especially when combined with standard medical therapy. Some early studies in people with diarrhea-predominant irritable bowel syndrome also suggest berberine may reduce diarrhea frequency and abdominal discomfort. Berberine may even slightly help those with weight loss, with some studies showing modest reductions in body weight of around 2 kilograms. The bigger issue here is dosage. Most of the studies showing benefits from berberine use doses in the gram range, far higher than what's included in Nuora Gut Ritual. So even though berberine does have useful effects on metabolism, the amount here may simply be too low to matter much. Dandelion leaf, root, and flower have been used in traditional medicine for centuries for liver problems and digestive complaints. However, modern research have not found strong evidence that dandelion significantly improves liver health, digestion, or gut function in humans. Ashwagandha is a herb commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine, mostly for stress and anxiety. Most studies show that taking around 300 to 600 milligrams per day of concentrated ashwagandha extract can reduce stress and anxiety levels. It also appears to lower cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, suggesting the effects are not just psychological. Some research even suggests ashwagandha may help reduce stress-related weight gain over time. However, there is an important catch. Most of these studies use specialized extracts such as KSM66 at doses of 300 to 600 milligrams daily. Nuora Gut Ritual only provides 200 milligrams of an unspecified extract, which may not be enough to produce the same benefits seen in research. Gymnema sylvestre is another Ayurvedic herb traditionally used for metabolic health. There's some weak evidence suggesting it may modestly improve blood sugar control in people with type 2 diabetes, but again, the doses used in studies are much higher than what is found in Nuora Gut Ritual, making it questionable whether the product contains enough to have meaningful effects. Quercetin is a flavonoid naturally found in foods like onions, apples, berries, tea, and red wine. While it is often promoted as a powerful antioxidant, the research has not shown convincing benefits for blood sugar control and metabolic health. There's also no good evidence that quercetin improves gut health or digestive symptoms in healthy people. Overall, Nuora Gut Ritual does not appear particularly useful for gut health at all. If anything, the formula seems more focused on metabolic health than digestion. But even then, most of the ingredients are included at doses that are likely too low to produce the effects seen in clinical research. The product's central claim that bromelain breaks down harmful gut biofilm is completely untrue. There's no evidence that bromelain can dissolve some hidden layer coating the intestines, and the entire idea that healthy people have a dangerous gut biofilm needing to be removed to heal the gut lining is pseudoscientific nonsense. In reality, you would probably have far more success improving gut health by focusing on things that actually support the gut lining and microbiome, such as taking soluble fiber or probiotics, not by taking bromelain. Nuora Gut Biofilm Ritual sells for roughly $70 per month. You could easily replicate what this supplement was trying to do more effectively by combining berberine with ashwagandha. Both typically cost around $8 to $10 per month each. Together, that comes to roughly $16 to $20 monthly. Rating Nuora Gut Biofilm Ritual by effectiveness for improving gut health, I'm giving it a D. There's little evidence it meaningfully improves gut health, and its entire biofilm breakdown explanation is scientifically inaccurate. Rating it by cost, I'm giving it a D. Similar ingredients can be purchased much more cheaply and often at more effective doses. Rating for safety, I'm giving it a C. Some ingredients, particularly berberine, can interact with medications and may not be appropriate for everyone. Overall rating, I'm giving a D. I would not recommend it at all. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, please share it with them. Finally, if you enjoy what we do and want to learn more, consider supporting us on Ko-fi, and be sure to check out our other socials as well.